Man, we were just talking about the long balls are hitting, and way to respond here.
You're on.
The first inning, and they're jumping out to 2 runs. Maybe that's a good sign for them this season.
So just to recap, we got knocked off there for a second. Hopefully we're good now. Long balls, a hard hit line drive single from Sean Bing there, and Colin Polak does himself helps himself out with a long 2-run homer that just stayed fair down the left field line.
Exit velocity 109 is my guess. That was very hard. We've seen some hard hits on this field today. The last 2 actually by Sean and Colin, but the game before with the Stompers and the Meats, Jimmy crushed a home run to left field too. That was a shot. That's the one thing though. It's 2-0 long balls right now. You won't see any give up with the Bruisers. Jerry battles, Chris battles, so this game's not going to be decided right now. There's a pop-up. The wind might take that out. Off the top of the fence. That just missed by like a foot, so that's a triple. So by the last 3 at-bats, double, homer, triple. Long balls brought their hitting shoes today. Tommy's coming up.
We were talking earlier. I don't know if this was when we were off the air. I think it probably was, but for the long balls, hitting's been their struggle, but not so far today.
Yeah, I mean, 3 hard hits, and the last at bat it was hit pretty good, but the wind aided it. But with only 2 fielders, I was never going to be caught. But double home run, triple. They might be able to get the cycle this inning with a single.
Ground ball. Chris is up with it. Nice easy throw for the out.
2 outs now. Man on third, 2 outs. This is big. You don't want to give up that 3rd run.
Definitely not. If Jerry can get out of this, he won't be happy with it, but he'll take it after the way this inning started.
Absolutely. And I remember as a pitcher, you really need to limit the damage. Yeah, you're frustrated, and you're pissed off that you just gave a couple of hard hit balls. You might be even slightly embarrassed, but you got to focus. You got to dig deep, and not give up any more runs. It's really important to keep this game close. It's a big at-bat here for both teams. Not chasing the drop. That's Jerry's bread and butter. It's a lot of pitches for a first inning of your first game of the tournament. We got 2 outs, man on third, 2-0, and a walk here, so we got first and third. As I said before, this is huge. It's a big difference in wiffle ball being down 2-0 versus 3-0. So, for both teams here, good cut there. And Sean's first at bat, he doubled right off the left field wall. One bounce off the wall. There's been some shots this inning. Got an 0-2 count here. Remember, we start with the 0-1 count here at MAW. 1-2. Jerry might be fatiguing a little bit. There's a lot of pitches for your first inning of the first game of the tournament. It's not ideal for a pitcher. You want to kind of have 3 batters or 4 batters in your first inning. Didn't chase. Good eye. You could see Jerry wanted that one. He looked at Chris, wanted him to chase that pitch.
Yep.
Ooh, a change up there. He doesn't have to give it. He has a base to play with here. It's first and third. Big pitch there, strike 3. The end of 1 full inning, we have 2-0 long balls. They had a double and a home run this inning. We'll be back in a minute. So we got back here at the top of the first, 2-0 Longballs. Jerry's leading off for the Bruisers. And we only played 4 innings here in the opening round robin in Mid-Atlantic, so although we say it's the second inning, it's really starting to become late already if you're losing. There's one of those vicious swings. Sometimes Jerry benefits from them, and he'll crush a line drive or a home run, but sometimes he chases for a strike. But he's fun to watch as a fan or an announcer. Right on that pitch. Found it straight back.
Did not miss that by much.
No. And if I was Colin, I wouldn't be going with a riser here. Something else besides that. That was a good spot, actually. He went high, but Jerry was looking for it.
I think that was a really good spot. The one right over the plate, Jerry was right on, so just tried to elevate it a little bit. Jerry's a free swinger, so you can go up on him.
Yeah, if Colin wants to take the next step up as a pitcher, you got to be a little bit more diverse in your pitching type, especially when you see a batter's fouling off that pitch 2 or 3 times. You can't keep going to it in the same at bat. Or if you go to it, you throw it higher than high. See if he chases.
Exactly.
That's gone. Opposite field home run by Jerry, and we were just saying that the whole at bat. We're saying you got to stay away from that pitch, and finally Jerry put in a play, didn't try to pull it, just smacked it to left center, home run.
Really nice swing there, like you said, just stay within himself, took what he was given.
What a game we got here! Already seen 4 extra base hits. We got a double, triple, 2 home runs, lots of free swinging, lots of hitting, and it's only the top of the second. Chris coming up, 2-1 Longballs. I mean, it is windy, it is blowing out, but all these home runs today would have been out no matter what. I like seeing opposite field home runs. It tells you the batter's really on the ball, he sees it well, not trying to do too much. And Jerry usually pulls a lot, so that was kind of cool to see him go left center.
Yeah, you're right, he does. I think that's, he takes those just big cuts, but I've seen him go opposite field. He's a real smart hitter. No one works harder than him, so it's not surprising to see him take what he's given there.
Yeah. And as we see here, oftentimes you see here pitchers go to a different ball when they get up a home run because it's either, they think it's bad luck, superstitious, or the ball might be broke, or they don't feel like getting it out of the woods. A little low. But I can tell you, though, as a former pitcher myself, we need to get a new ball. It is an adjustment. It's not as simple as it sounds like a Major League Baseball where, every ball is the same. You might have to just rub it a little bit or get some rosin in your hand. But wiffle ball, the cut could just completely change the whole movement. And right now it's 3 balls.
Colin had a pretty easy first, but a little out of sorts here to start the second.
Yeah, he had 3 straight Ks. Chris just worked a walk. Man up first, no outs, 2-1. I like Jerry's batting stance. He's like locked and loaded.
Yeah. He's got that sort of that lean where you can tell he's he's going to shift his power.
I like to ask Jerry what's the percentage of body fat he has. Check swing. This could be a double play. Let's see. Turn 1. I mean, those are big plays when you don't turn the double play. Paul and I and Tim on the last podcast were talking about fielding a little bit. We're going to go a little bit more depth in the future, but sometimes it's a little bit ignored, but it's a huge play. That's an extra out right there.
Yeah, that's really big. They got the one. I mean, that's most important. But yeah, I mean that changes the inning.
And for those viewers that don't know, in Mid-Atlantic, if it's a man up first, you turn a double play, you throw the ball to second base, and the guy then throws it, has to hit the backstop on the fly to turn 2. Take the easy way out, though. If even if it was 2 outs, go to second, so you don't have to try to throw it to the backstop. Especially if the guys in the field aren't pitchers or throwers. Sometimes it leads to a mistake. You got 2 outs here after Chris has struck out. 2 outs, man up first. There you go. Colin's throwing something different to Jerry. They looked like it was going to be a screwball. Different look.
Yeah, sometimes that can be enough. Just even he missed there, but just giving a different look.
That's a big play. We were talking about before. A wild pitch moves the runner over. Now he's in scoring position. A clean single, Has to be clean single, correct?
Correct.
A clean single meaning that nobody in the infield touches the ball and it gets through. It's an automatic run. In other scenarios, if it's less than 2 outs, if a guy's on first, a clean double does not score. It has to be 2 outs. Oh, vicious swing by Jerry. Trying to take the lead right there. Breeze is starting to pick up a little bit out here, too.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten breezier since this game started. Or right at the start of this game.
That's gone. It's going to be
too.
Dead center. Crushed.
Killed it.
Jerry is trying. He won the home run crown 2 years ago. I think he's off to start here. He might get it this year. 3-2.
Atlantic's, definitely a pitching organization, but this is, for you hitting fans, this is a good game to watch. It's gonna be, I think there's gonna be a lot more runs by the time this is over.
Absolutely, and Colin is a solid pitcher. He's not throwing junk up there. I mean, Jerry's actually keeping his hands back, and early in the count, it looks like he tries to pull it, and then he sits back and goes to left or center. Oppo and then center right there. That was about cleared the 105 sign by a good 10 feet. Looked like Earl's out there. Could have smacked one of them in the face, or Juggernauts. And we chose this game as we're going through the broadcast. We're like, oh, this game is probably going to be exciting. Let's do Longballs, Bruisers. And we haven't been disappointed at all.
No, not in the least.
This is only the top of the second. Sometimes in wiffle ball you could have a 7-6 game or something like that, but it's a lot of walks. This game's 3-2, and it's been nothing but extra base hits. Already have 3 home runs, a double, a triple.
And not bad pitching, just,
Yeah.
good hitters putting good swings on good pitches.
One thing I noticed with Colin, too, when the pressure gets on a little bit or based on base runners, he hurries. He thinks sometimes you need to take a step back and just think things through. It'll come with experience, though. He'll only get better. Chris has been really having a good eye so far. That's his second straight walk. Now, Jerry's coming back up. You got to be careful here. You're only down by 1. You don't want to turn this to a down by 3 game here.
Ooh, real good spot there. That was a different pitch.
Yeah. That's the pitch that if he mixes, now he mixes in his visor. Out of the strike zone, he might get him here. I would go high here. Colin going with an extra hop on the mound.
Hop there.
Trying to get some extra power, I think.
He thinks he's Tom Lucasio.
And as you might have seen right in the video there, Tim trying to throw the ball back to the pitcher didn't work out so well.
It's never pretty.
Jerry getting drilled in I think he hurt the ball more than he hurt himself. For some reason, when I look at him, he reminds me of McGuire and Canseco in the old Oakland A's days.
I can definitely see the McGuire just in the stands, sort of that
Yeah.
crowd's compact, power shifting stance.
He has a wide stance too. Ooh. And we talked about this in a couple podcasts ago, but he's the definition, Jerry's definition of launch angle. In wiffle ball, I mean, his angle is, he's not going to hit ground balls.
I still don't have any if we count the Winter Classic.
Oh, that's a great eye. He's in the zone today. That's a tough pitch to lay up. Good pitch by Colin.
Both Chris and Jerry are seeing the ball well.
So now we got first and second, 2 outs. So we're back to that scenario. Clean single, scores and run. So Chris this inning alone has 2 walks. So he's definitely seen the ball well. We got first and second, 2 outs, 0-2. Remember, we start with the 0-1 count. Our eyes are down the middle, so Bruisers put up 3 runs this inning, including 2 home runs by Jerry, and now we're going to the bottom of the second. It's 3-2 Bruisers. Back. So we're in the bottom of the second, and it's 3-2 Bruisers. The first inning, the Longballs came back and took the lead. So we had 3 lead changes already. So this is a sign of things to come. And as we said before, these are 4-inning games, so every inning is important. There's Jerry's customary drop. That thing dropped like 3 or 4 feet. The only issue, though, if it hangs in the zone, it's very hittable. So he needs that to drop underneath the batter's hands. Down and into the righty and down and away to the lefty. So Colin leading off here for the Longballs. Last inning, he hit a home run off Jerry. It was crushed. So the pitchers are hitting home runs off each other today. Jerry has 2 home runs and Colin has a home run as well. So the pitchers are both pissing each other off. Paul, just noticed that. All 3 home runs today are pitchers against each other.
That's right, yeah.
Good eye by Colin. That was a good pitch, too, by Jerry. Leadoff walk. Just like baseball. And, the leadoff batter is huge. It puts so much more pressure on the fielding team, and it gives the offense a little bit more confidence. Jerry asking about the rules, whether a ground ball can be covered by the pitcher. Absolutely, in a 2-man infield. Well, actually, even without a 2-man infield, doesn't matter.
Yep. Pitcher can always do it.
Jerry, even with a 3-man infield, you could do it. I'm yelling out the rules. We got 1 ball, 1 strike here today. Man on first. Jerry needs to find it. This game's going back and forth.
1 and left blew over. I don't know.
No easy innings for the pitchers so far. Well, Colin had a little bit of an easy first inning, but since then.
Yeah.
Big K there by Jerry. Man on first, 1 out. It's a big inning to see who grabs the momentum. 2 strikes.
Keeping a book too. So
We got
definitely gonna have to,
2 outs here. Another K.
I don't mean to interrupt, but we're definitely going to have to sit down. I'm going to have to redo some of this at the end.
Absolutely.
All right. I might count it real quick, actually.
Yeah. So we got 2 outs, man on first. So to go over some of the rules for MAW, a double or triple scores a run here in 2 outs.
All right, I'm going to go get a clean sheet and start fresh.
1 ball, 1 strike, man on first. Missed by inches. That's so frustrating as a pitcher. I remember when I used to pitch, and if you just miss, it really does take you off. You're like, you do everything correctly. You just like, why doesn't it hit the strike zone? You're like begging the ball to hit the strike zone.
No, this is by a little bit more. Austin Bleacher here making his Longballs debut in MAW at least. He's a member of their NWLA tournament team.
Oh, this is his first tournament here?
It's not his first tournament, but his first tournament for the Longballs here, yeah.
Oh, I like that swing. It looks like, from our angle, it looks like the right-handed batter should be going a little bit more off the plate against Jerry because the ball is diving down and into a righty. But it's hard to notice that sometimes when you're up there. The one thing about Jerry when he pitches, no matter how many times you hit the ball off him or whatever, he keeps challenging.
No, he'll come right after you, yeah.
That's like his personality too, which is kind of cool. That's the way he is as an athlete. I know we say this a lot. I can't imagine how good he was. Big K, 3 straight Ks. Chris and Jerry pumped up the fist pump there. So the end of 2, we got 3-2 Bruisers. Back in a minute. All right, top of the third. We got 3-2.
Pitching change for the Longballs. Sean Bingnier now on the hill. Rubber.
I'm glad you noticed that. I wasn't paying attention to that. How's Sean at pitching?
So Sean was our ace last year. Tommy Loftus was missed all of the MAW season actually, besides the Winter Classic with back surgery. So Bingnier is a definition of a heart.
Ooh, is that the third home run? It's gonna be close. It's gone.
3 home run day for Jerry.
This is
Hale.
getting ridiculous now.
So as I was just saying, Sean was a victim of some bad luck, close games last year. Bunch of 1-0, 0-0 total base losses to some really good teams. But boy, I don't think anyone put a swing on him like that at all last year.
So this is crazy. There has to be a word for this, or they should make one up. Jerry has a home run to left field, to center field, and to right field, and 4 different at bats here. So, they have this cycle, they have grand slam. There should be a word for hitting a home run on all sides, all different fields. That's pretty impressive.
Stadium tour or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty crazy. I usually hit it when my past limited home runs are always the right field, but center field is tough. And Jerry that was his high. The other 2 were line drives. He's such a diverse home run hitter, I guess. So we got 4-2 right now, Bruisers, as Chris strikes out there. That's a rude awakening to a pitcher. You come out here in relief and your first batter, home run.
You wonder if maybe Sean just wasn't fully ready, just mentally and or physically.
Yeah, and you see him doing little stretches out there. He comes back with a strikeout against Jerry there. 2 outs. Yeah, as a pitcher, wiffle ball relief, you don't see relief pitchers that often compared to the majors, obviously. In the major leagues, I think it was something like 40% of innings are thrown by relief pitchers. And that's something that me, Paul, and Tim are talking about in the podcast that we think is going to be a trend sometime in the near future in wiffle ball.
It's definitely going to be an adjustment period because, you're just not used to it. You're not used to coming in, mid-game like we're seeing here. And, the guys just don't come up, relieving. Now, one thing is, what's interesting about these guys in the Ridley Park Wiffle Ball League is they do sort of use relievers a little bit more. Traditionally, the way their teams have been organized is the team captain is an ace pitcher, and then they'll throw 90% of the innings, and then they'll have a younger guy that they bring up.
Chris, what a
gone
dead line drive. That ball curved from right center to dead center. That's how hard he hit it with the wind. Nice homer.
I mean,
man,
the wind definitely helped that get out, but he hit that, squarely.
So we were talking before, Paul, and you mentioned in your article the Juggernauts living up to their nickname. What about the Bruisers living up to their nickname?
Yeah.
They're bruising the heck out of the wiffle ball today. 4 home runs.
I mean, all season long last year they struggled at the plate, and then just let all their frustrations out here.
I actually, when I spoke with Jerry in the pregame too, I think their winter league, maybe not giving them an advantage like you said, but definitely having them be more prepared for this tournament. Playing, getting those reps pitching, getting those reps batting, it really does help. It can only help. Jerry fouls it off. I was aiding the play here by getting a foul ball. Strike 3. That's the way you get an aggressive batter out. You pitch high. So at the end of 3 innings, we got 5-2 Bruisers. We're back in a minute. So we're back here in the bottom of the third. It's 5-2 Bruisers. And the other action, the other field, the Yaks are playing the Lemonheads, and the Yaks are currently winning 1-0. That's a big game because both teams lost their opening round game, and basically whoever loses is going to be done for today. So that's a pretty big game.
Yeah, do or die for both teams.
Yeah. And both those teams, honestly, probably looked at that matchup and thinking that's the game they can win. Oh, the sun's popping out here. The Longballs need to put up a run or two here to get back in this game. Down 5-2. I mean, they could come back. You know, you could put a 3 spot up any inning, but it's getting late already. It's a third inning in a 4-inning game. It feels good, this sun. Hopefully it stays out.
Feels like the wind died down, too, once the sun came out. But that may have just been...
Sean leading off this inning took one to the spine. Lead off walk. Big walk there.
Yeah, Longballs need some base runners and a big hit.
So something we didn't have on in between innings is one of the things that Jerry does when he pitches is he stands about 5 feet away from the plate and just hits the strike zone to warm up his arm. And he said he likes to hear the ball hit the strike zone, but and warm up at the same time. That's a good practice for you young pitchers out there. You don't have to pitch 45 feet away your first couple pitches.
Nubs that off.
Collins up here. Get some revenge, from Jerry hitting him when he was pitching.
Collins got big power. Only takes what we saw that earlier this game. He had a 2-run homer.
A rare riser from Jerry there. I know he has it in his arsenal, but he doesn't throw it, as often as his drop. He might throw a screwball too. I'm not sure.
He's messed around with it. There's another hard hit.
Collins with the single here, so good start for the Longballs here. First and second. Down 5-2.
Nobody out. That's the biggest thing.
What's the mindset, Paul, of a team wiffle ball in a 4-inning game and you're down by 3 runs in the third inning?
I think it's just to kind of do what they did here. You want to keep the train moving, keep getting base runners. Don't get down. Don't try to do too much any at bat. Just
I like that. Not trying to do too much. That's all I did. Get on base for the next guy. Don't try to be the hero.
You do what you can do, and you trust your teammates, and you pass the baton. When you see guys out there swinging out of their shoes, a lot of times it means, what does that say about what they think about their teammates? That, I've got to do everything. These guys have played together for a while. They know each other's strengths. They know, Dylan knew he could expand the zone there a little bit because he knows if he does, he's got, Tommy coming behind him who will have a good idea at the plate, and they keep it rolling.
That's a great point. Yeah, don't try to do too much at the plate. It's hard enough to hit it with a big pitch there. Hit the bottom part of the zone on the drop. So now we got 1 out, first and second. Getting that first out is huge in wiffle ball, especially when you get a couple guys on base. You got to stop the momentum as a pitcher. The Longballs, they have Tommy coming up, first and second.
Ground ball.
It's a big play. There's one. Let's see if they complete the double play here. Jerry just missed. So you got fielder's choice.
Yeah, runner out at second. Lead runner out, so first and second still.
Okay, first and second here. I forgot the rules sometimes with football too. So at a first and second fielder's choice, it ends up being first and second. So you get the lead runner, right? Yep. First and second.
Brings up Austin Bleacher.
First and second, 2 outs. And I hate to say this, the Bruisers had a tough fielding play in last year's 2018 playoffs against the Lemonheads. Jerry with the ground ball, he slipped and the ball got for an error. So hopefully it doesn't come back to bite him. 2 balls, 1 strike. The wind picked up by her, and I think it cost him on that pitch. This is a big at bat in this game. You can change the momentum here. 2 out hits are huge in baseball and football. Really gets the team fired up. 3 balls, 1 strike. The one thing I would say here with Jerry is you don't want to give in here. You have another base to play with. You're up by 3 runs. You don't want to lay it in, and so make your pitch. Even if it's a ball, you have another batter. In MAW, you have a 0-1 count too. So ball 4. So you have bases loaded here.
Nice at bat by Bleacher. Very, very calm, ready to swing, but wasn't going to go outside himself. Big moment here.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. Sean's coming up. And then, remember, a clean single scores 2. What is it? Does a clean double score 3, Paul?
Correct.
A double tied up, a triple ties it up. A home run obviously gives him the lead. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah. Bases loaded, 2 outs. 1 ball, 1 strike. The nerves from the batter and the pitcher. I remember these days.
Ground ball.
Oh, nice scoop by Jerry. That was not an easy play.
No, that
it was a
not
short
at all.
hop. Big play. So it ended end of 3 innings. We got 5-2 Bruisers. That was a huge play. End the inning with bases loaded. So we'll see you in a minute. So we do have a final on the other field. The Yaks beat the Lemonheads 1-0. So they're now one win, 1 loss. The 1 loss was a total base loss. So they rebounded with a big win against the Lemonheads. The Lemonheads are now 0-2. So this is the top of the 4th. We got 5-2 Bruisers. And just to recap, we have, how many home runs do we have today? 4 home runs in this game.
4 home runs. Yes.
3 by Jerry, 1 by Chris, and 1 by Colin.
That's a 5.
Yeah, 5 home runs, yeah.
We can add.
And none of them were wind-aided. Well, one of them might have been wind-aided, but the other 4 were bullets that would have been out at any time.
And Chris's was still. I don't know if you're saying Chris's or.
Jerry's won the right.
Yeah, Jerry's.
That was a big play that last inning. Jerry with the nice field there to get the last out. Oh, there's a single.
Way. Is that going to make the fence?
I love opposite field hits.
Chris is locked in like we haven't seen him.
Absolutely, that's 2 bullets in a row. His last at bat was a home run. Now he just hit a hard single. Bower Bruisers going opposite field today a lot. I think that an opposite field, whether it's baseball or wiffle ball, means you're seeing the ball well. You want the ball travel to you as a batter.
Yep.
And my favorite player of all time, being Derek Jeter, went to opposite field a lot. For me, I just couldn't catch up to hard fastballs. That's why I went to opposite field. It wasn't intentional. Man at first, no outs. There's a grounder to first. It could be 2. There's 1. Could somebody turn double play today? There you go. Big double play. Pitcher's best friend there. Two outs. Chris back up. That was a huge play considering it the leadoff runner on. And there's an infield grounder. That's a single. Yeah, Chris would all these hard hits today, and then you get a hit like that. That's wiffle ball for you. It stinks being a pitcher sometimes. You do everything correctly and you hit a ground ball and the grass stops it. Man on first, 2 outs. That makes that double play even more important. The long ball shifting around here for Jerry. You have 2 outfielders now. Ah, he was right on that. That could have been home run number 4. I envisioned that ball would going 200 feet there if he would have connected correctly. Home run number 4, right down the line in right field. Oh boy, Jerry going crazy today. That was a big home run too. It gives them a little bigger lead. 7-2 right now, Bruisers. So Jerry now has 4 home runs. He has a home run to left field, center field now, 2 to right.
So what is the record for home runs in a game? Is that happening right now?
Well, against lesser teams, some people have a lot of home runs. But against mid-level to high-level teams, I would say there's a good amount of home runs.
Yeah, this is probably it.
That's Jerry's 4th home run. Overall, the Bruisers have 5, and the Longballs have 1 too. So you have 6 home runs this game. With 7-2 Bruisers right now. Anyway, here's the thing. People could feast on lower level pitching. That's not a knock on them. But to hit home runs off quality pitching is a big deal. Chris has got an infield single, an error there a little bit. Was hit hard though. Chris's last few at bats, he was going crazy too. Single, single, single. And he had his home run last inning. Bruisers really hitting the heck out of the ball today. Will Jerry get his 5th home run here? Sean gassing it up there. Jerry trying to do anything he can to get him out. Pitch very high there. The smart play would be to try to get him to chase here, but you got to make it a little bit closer to the strike zone.
Have they started yet?
3 balls, 2 strikes now. Let's see if he puts one in the strike zone. Will Jerry wrap his 5th home run? Oh, he walked him. He's 1st and 2nd. So Chris has 3 straight singles. If he has another clean single here, scores a run. We have 2 outs, 1st and 2nd. Remember MAW rules on 2 outs. If you get a clean single, the guy in 2nd, he scores. The Bruisers hitting the ball to all sides of the field today. And Chris was right on that. Chris is on fire. Jerry's been on fire with the homers. Chris has 3 straight singles. 2 of them hit hard. One was the infield single. And Chris had his blast of a home run last inning. Strike 3, so the end of 4.5. We have 7-2 Bruisers, and we're back in a minute. So the bottom of the 4th, we have the Longballs are the last shot here, down 7-2. The Bruisers added a couple insurance runs last inning. That was huge. It went from 5-2 to 7-2. I feel in wiffle ball, if you're down 2 or 3, you always have a chance because you get a walk, a single, and a home run. But now you need a big rally. I'll lead it off here for the Longballs. Their last inning ended on a very impressive fielding play by Jerry, a short hop ground ball. There's a leadoff single. Remember, if the ball rolls to the wall, it's a double. I wouldn't count the long balls out here, though.
No.
Jerry's a solid pitcher. He's not an elite pitcher, so he can give up his runs. So let's see if the long ball could string together a couple hits in a row. The thing here, having a 7-2 lead as a pitcher, you don't want to give any freebies. Challenge. Keep challenging until the tying runs up. You don't want to walk anybody.
Exactly. Make them earn it.
And that's one thing Jerry does. He does challenge people when he's batting and pitching. Same thing with Chris. They both have similar mentalities. Got Dylan up here, man on first. Oh, Jerry with a slider there, yeah. Slider riser. We talk about this often between me, Paul, and Tim. Jerry's up there a little bit in age, which tells you how good of an athlete he is. I can't imagine 25, 30 years ago how good he would be in wiffle ball. He would probably be elite.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
I mean, he's an elite. Today, look at his bat. Everybody's oohing and awing out here when watching this game.
The wind really got a hold of that one. That drop just hung up. The wind just batted down.
Looks like a 35-foot pitch.
Yeah.
That ball slowed down. Helped him there.
Yeah, no, it did.
Big out there. Getting the first out, as we always say, is huge. 1 out, man on first. And when you're down by 4 or 5 runs, the Bruisers are down. I mean, Longballs are down by 5 right now. You need to get the first couple guys on. This is a big batter if the Longballs want to give him some trouble.
time he's got the rep as not much of a hitter, a lot of times they'll DH for him or or whatever. But we've seen him. I don't really see it every time I've seen him. He looks like he knows what he's doing. Takes good swings.
Yeah, that first swing, I mean, it's not ideal being down by 5 and swinging at a ball, but it looked like it was going to be a good pitch, so he had a good hack at it. Got a piece of that with a battle there.
Yeah, another good swing.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Man on first. Jerry's getting them to chase that drop. The long balls are down to the final out right now.
Threw one over, got him in swing mode, and then buried it. So it's all up to Austin Bleacher to keep things alive here. Runner on first.
Man on first. Man on first, 2 outs.
Starts him off of a strike, quickly ahead in the count.
Jerry, you're getting better as this game's going on.
I think he can taste it.
Yeah. Well, you want that experience too, having played at MAW since it started. He knows what it takes to win these games too, how to battle through a game. Just missed there, a couple inches. Jerry had a little smirk. He thought he had him. He's doing his little trot off the mound, thinking the game was over. So, it's man on first, 2 outs. Long ball is down 7-2. Strike 3. Jerry ended the game with 3 straight Ks. Barrel Bruisers win the game 7-2. They were down, to recap, they were down 2-0. Colin hit a long home run off Jerry, and all of a sudden the Barrel Bruisers brought out their big guns, hitting 5 home runs, including Jerry smacking 4, 2 to right field, 1 to center, 1 to left. Chris launching a dead line drive to center field. One of the bigger plays of the game was Jerry's fielding, actually, a ground ball to the mound, ending their rally. So the Barrel Bruisers win their opening game. And now Chris and Jerry, the 2-man team, are about to join us.
Yeah.
Let's bring up Jerry first.
You were in the seat, man.
So before we talk about the home runs, and you guys hit plenty of them, let's talk about being down 2-0. What was your guys' mindset, down 2-0 right away in the first inning?
You know what? Chris and I came into this knowing we're going to get 7-8 at-bats a game, and so we weren't worried about it. We knew we got to put 3 up on the board, at least 4 up on the board to win, so I wasn't too worried about it.
So your home runs, okay. So your first 3 home runs went to 3 different spots. Your first one to left field, then center, then right. You had 4 overall. Were you intentionally trying to go to center and go to left field today?
Third year wiffle ball, hey, it's one game, first of all. But today, in this game, I was seeing the ball well. Wasn't being too aggressive and just trying to hit it where it was pitched. So if it was out over the plate or outside, I tried to take it to Oppo. And if he threw me in with that screwball, then I got lucky and pulled a couple.
And Chris, your home run was a dead line drive to center field. It actually curved from our angle. You could see it was heading to right center and it went all the way to center. Did you know it was gone as soon as you hit it?
Yeah.
And then you hit 3 straight singles later in the game. And one of them was the infield variety. You beat out the throw to first base. So today, did you feel like you were in the zone a little bit batting?
I felt better towards the end of the game in the 3rd and 4th inning after I kind of got the timing down a little bit. I kind of figured out what they were going to throw, or at least their dominant pitch, and then I just kind of sat back and just waited for it, tried to get my timing down.
Do you think it helped you guys batting too?
For sure, yeah, more looks, right? So hopefully get the timing down quicker.
And one last thing, we thought one of the bigger plays of the game is the fielding play you had, the fielder's choice. So it was first and second, I believe, a tough hop from here. I don't know if you could tell. It's short hop. You fielded it cleanly, got him out. That was a big out.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Yeah, that was, didn't even look. Just could put the hands down, trusted the hands, and ball wound up in him.
Well, congratulations. The Bruisers win their first game 7-2 after being down 2-0, and go luck the rest of the tournament.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks.
Thanks, Paul.
Good game, Chris.
Thanks.
Yeah, brother.
Thanks. All right, so that's it for us for this game. We'll be back approximately 1:30. We're running a little bit ahead of schedule, so maybe somewhere around 1:15 to 1:30 with the Juggernauts versus Earl.
And that's going to be a big game because the Juggernauts lost their first game.
Yep.
So that is going to be a huge game. We'll see you then.
Yep.